Hi, welcome back to my video and the Mastering CISSP series, and we are on the fourth video for the cryptography. So we discussed about the basics about the cryptography, and then we discussed about the Kirchhoff's principle, and yesterday we discussed about the cover time, work factor, etc. Now there are two more terms that we actually need to understand in the cryptography. We discussed about the plain text, we discussed about the ciphertext, algorithm, and the key, and there's something called the initialization vector. Sometimes what happens in the crypto system is, okay, the key remains the same and your plain text also repeats. The best example is the most frequenting character in English is E. Okay, and if you can Google it, okay, you can find the other alphabets and their percentage of repetition in the English language. Yeah. So if there are books on the cryptography that teaches you the cryptography, and the last few chapters are written as an encrypted text. Okay, but the authors are really wonderful. They train you in such a way that okay, when you go through the last few chapters, you read through the ciphertext, but you understand or you comprehend as if it's a plain text. But that's the way they tune your mind and they teach you. Yeah. So in order to ensure that the the plain text, for example, if a classic example is G R W R W R L. Okay, now there's a ciphertext, okay, but there's an English sentence, and if you want to convert this to an plain text, okay, English sentence, and G is a word, RW is a word, R is a word, WRL is a word. Okay. Now the clue is I told you it's an English sentence, and G is a word, and R is a word, RW is a word, and WRL is a word. There are only two alphabets that can appear as a word, okay, in English. One is I, the other one is A. Okay, and a man ran on the road. Okay, so you can start a sentence with A, okay, or I'm a lecturer, or I'm teaching you CISSP. Okay, in fact, I had given you the clue for this particular sentence. So the G could be A or G could be I. If G is A, R should be I. Okay, and if G is I and R should be A. Okay, for example, if G is I and R is A, what is RW? R is anyway A. Okay, so we need to substitute W with something else. So if you consider the two alphabet word in English, okay, and that starts with an A, it can be AM or AN. I am A. No, it doesn't make a sense. I am A. Okay, so I am A. Okay, if RW is AM and WR becomes MA. So we need to fill up, we need to substitute this L with something. Okay, I'm using a word substitute here because we will also be discussing about the substitution cipher, okay, in the next video or the next video. So I am a man, okay, a G R W R W R L. I am a man. Okay, this actually makes sense. So the encrypted ciphertext G R W R W R L, okay, is going to be a plain text. I am a man. Okay. Now we don't need an algorithm to actually do it. Okay, so we did this by guessing, etc. Okay. But again, so if there's going to be a crypt analyst, okay, the crypt analysts are the guys who are going to break the crypto system. Okay, in fact, like how in ethical hacking we have white hat hackers or the black hat hackers. If I'm going to say the white hat crypt analyst, okay, they're the guys who are going to assess the strength of the crypto system and then say whether the crypto system is weak or not. In fact, we are going to discuss about the data encryption standard, okay, which is again it is derived from the Lucifer, which was IBM's. So all the vendors presented the paper to be a data encryption standard for to the NIST and National Computer Security Center, NCSC, is a part of the NIST, and they assessed the cryptographic algorithm. And they chose the Lucifer with some modification. Okay, the 128 becomes 64, etc. That we'll anyway discuss. Okay. Now these guys who actually made an assessment of the Lucifer and other algorithms, other companies also submitted their algorithm. It stands the same for advanced encryption standard as well. These guys are all called as a cryptanalyst. They assessed the algorithm and they chose the algorithm which they found is the best among what was produced, not to undermine or underestimate the other algorithm. See, if there are 10 algorithms presented, all the 10 were good, okay, but obviously we had to choose only one, right? So there are 10 people running in the athletics, okay, but we can, all of them are best in their country, okay, but again, the winner can be only one. So the Lucifer emerged and winner, okay, with some modification, it was named as the data encryption standard. Yeah. So these guys are called cryptanalysts. Now, having said that, they're all white hat cryptanalysts. There are also black hat cryptanalysts who wants to break the crypto system and recover the key, not the data. Recover the key. If the key is recovered, then the cryptographic algorithm is otherwise called a broken algorithm. Data encryption standard is a broken algorithm, as we discussed in the earlier video. So it was broken in 1997. Yeah. So coming back to our illustration, G, R, W, R, WRL became I'm a man. It need not be a man, okay? Man, mad, it can be anything, okay? But for the sake of discussion, we'll keep it decently as a man. Yeah, so this is actually, in fact, okay, I can say this is called a cipher-only attack. You have the ciphertext, and then you have you have discovered, okay, what the plain text is. But if you actually see here, every time R is going to get decrypted to A, okay, only then you can actually do it, only then you can resolve it to I'm a man, or decrypt to I'm a man. If R is not A every time, then we are going to have a problem. Now, this situation will arise in the cryptography or crypto system. The key remains the same, okay, and the input text also remains the same, and your algorithm also remains the same. So the ciphertext will also remain the same. Okay, so these are all called the monoalphabetic ciphers. Okay, so it will remain the same. To prevent something like this from actually happening, okay, we have something called the initialization vectors. So these initialization vectors are truly random numbers. Okay, so TRNG, truly random number generators, or two random number generators, okay, will be the seed for generating the initialization vector. This initialization vector will introduce the complexity in the ciphertext. Okay, so your output is not going to be the same, even the plain text is going to be the same, and the key is going to be the same. I will explain to you this with an illustration, okay, when we discuss about the substitution cipher. Okay, you can understand in detail why do we use initialization vector. Now, what are the key streams? Okay, now the initialization vector actually, okay, is not encrypted. Okay, so when we discuss about the network security on a different domain, we use the initialization vector, but we pass this initialization vector as a plain text to the recipient, so that he can use the initialization vector, get the ciphertext, and he can get the plain text. Now you can ask me, if there is a man in the middle who is going to get the ciphertext as well as the initialization vector, can he not break the crypto system and get to know what the plain text is? He cannot, because according to the Kirchhoff's principle, the key is the only secret. So the sender and the recipient should retain the key securely with them. So that means if the encrypted text is going to get shuttled between the sender and the receiver along with the initialization vector as a plain text, yeah, so ciphertext and the initialization vector unencrypted, you cannot decrypt the data and the transfer, because you don't have the key with you. Okay, the key is the only secret. That's something you have to always remember. So the duty of the initialization vector is to ensure that there's a randomness in your ciphertext. It doesn't reveal a pattern. If it reveals a pattern, okay, we can easily get to know what the plain text is, like, I'm a man. Okay, so duty of the initialization vector is to ensure that the same plain text with the same key will not give you the same ciphertext. Okay, so what are the key streams? Key streams are like, it's usually used in the substitution cipher or stream cipher, which gets mathematically functioned to the plain text to give you what is called a ciphertext. We'll be discussing about the stream cipher in detail later. Yeah. So we discussed about the cover time and the work factor yesterday, and there is one more concept that I actually want to cover up as a part of this particular video, and this is called as split knowledge. Okay, split knowledge in case of this is a very the fundamental concept in security. Dual control, split knowledge. In fact, people get confused. Is split knowledge and dual control? It is not a dual control. In dual control, you know who the other person is. In split knowledge, you don't know who the other person is. For example, you have a key to a bank locker. Your bank locker will have two keys. Okay, one is with you and one is with the bank manager. You know that the bank manager has got the other key, and the bank manager knows that you have got the other key. So in the dual control, the control to open the locker is of two people, but mutually they know each other. But the split knowledge, they don't know each other. For example, I create a key pair, okay, public and private key for an user called Hari. Okay, now when I create that, there's always a risk that Hari will lose his private key or the public key, which so he's going to have depending upon the implementation of the crypto system. If any one of the keys is actually lost, okay, the whatever has been encrypted with the other key, he cannot decrypt it. For example, I'm just touching upon the concept of asymmetric encryption here for time being. I'll cover that in the next video for you. So I have a K1 and K2 as a key pair for Hari. So whatever is encrypted with K1 can be decrypted only with K2, and vice versa. Whatever is encrypted with K2 encrypted by K2 can be decrypted only by K1. You may call K1 as a private key and K2 as a public key, or whatever it is, depending upon the situation. Yep. I have created a key pair for Hari, and if I give him one key, okay, for example, K2 is his laptop, and he takes the laptop to the mall, okay, and it's on the car boot, and somebody opens the car boot and they have stolen the laptop. Yeah. So K2 is lost. That means whatever is encrypted with K1 cannot be decrypted at all, because the K2 is actually lost, which was the laptop. Yeah. Now, as an organization, what I can actually do is I can divide this K1 and K2 into two halves. I give one part of the K1 and one part of the K2 to a company A, and the other part of K1, other part of K2 to a company B. So company A and company B mutually do not know each other. So in the same situation, if Hari is going to carry the laptop and with the K2, and the laptop is lost, okay, and he can come back to the office and complain or raise a security incident, and the security committee can ask or can request the company A and company B, in this context called the key escrow services, to restore their particular portion. So one half of K1 and K2 restored by the company A, the other half of K1 and K2 is restored by the company B, and we get the K1 and K2 back. Okay, because according to the principles of cryptography, I should not be in a position to regenerate the key. If that is possible, it defeats the purpose of cryptography. So in this particular context, okay, I'm dividing the key into two halves and giving it to a company A and company B. And company A and company B do not know each other. So it's actually called a split knowledge. We will be discussing about the key splitting, which is based on the very similar concept, but it's followed on the cloud security as a part of the CISSP lecture, which will follow after the completion of CISSP. Okay. So thank you for watching this video, and thanks for staying with me. Subscribe to the channel, be connected for your CISSP lectures, followed by the CCSP lectures. Soon we will have the videos posted with respect to the penetration testing as well. Okay, so cheers then, happy learning, have a wonderful day ahead. Bye-bye.